I'm Ed McKaveney, Technology Director at Hampton Township School District. I think in terms of vision and leadership in our district, we've been steadily over the course of a number of years, it's not change happening instantaneously, but it's over the course of several years, steadily building up an infrastructure to support a dynamic learning environment where we laid in the network infrastructure and the wired networks, and then we built wireless on top of that. I now have ubiquitous wireless at every building in my district. And then we layered in, increased laptop usage, and the wireless enabled that to create a more dynamic where people can do small groups and move about in different ways. So they're no longer confined to a particular classroom or wired computer lab. And then on top of that, we've since enabled Bring Your Own Device, which is blending in personalized student devices or helping us to personalize learning in different ways, where the kids find unique ways to use the devices, but then also the teachers can help structure learning around those devices and how they deal with assessments. And then what we did on top of that is we implemented Google Apps for Education. So now the students have access on their devices, on our district-owned devices, at home, while they're in school, to various types of learning resources and collaborative writing and their files. So that has created a rather dynamic culture of innovation and learning with technology that's helped us be a high-achieving district in many ways. And then on top of that, we've then implemented a STEAM grant in the past year where it's really getting running. But as part of that, we included Arduino electronic boards, so where they traditionally learned circuits and other types of electronics. Now they're able to actually program that and make those circuits come alive through the use of technology. We added 3D printing, where they used to, created some models and things in Google SketchUp, but now they're actually able to get a plastic, tangible object out of that, what they've created, and combine that with the traditional tech ed type programs where they're still doing woodworking and other things, but it's increased the level of engagement in real world type of scenarios with that. And that's, I think, contributed to the reason I was selected this year as the Withrow winner. In our district, nothing's done in isolation. We have our leadership team, and we meet regularly. We have strategic planning with the school board. We have a summer retreat that we do with them, and we all do common goal setting together. And then in terms of the vision, the superintendent is leading the vision, but in general, everybody's on the same page with how we're going to implement that in different ways. And everybody's rather dynamic. Everybody feeds into that process and generates ideas with how we're going to move forward. As a technology director, I'm not the sole source of technological ideas. I just help to structure that and make sure it's going to fit into our environment and work well. Whether it's a web application, but it might require data uploads and student integration and other things that have a layer of support that we need to put in place. To paperless transcripts now is one of the initiatives in the state of Pennsylvania that we're tying into. They've structured the professional development with teachers and the evaluation process. It looks at technology in the classroom and usage and how they're creating changing environments within that. So whether it's a more of Socratic type of teaching style where students are engaged and not just how often they have feedback or what they're doing with the technology, or just in general, whether it's not as much lecture and the students are engaged in interacting with each other, not just the teacher, and they've structured professional development around that. We do professional development days with technology, where it's a whole day of topics that they've said, these are the ones we're interested in and we'd like to learn more about. Our district also has what they call extended learning days. That was an initiative that's built into things. We do tied in with teacher induction and mentoring. Then I do technology introduction as one of the first things they get. So everything they need to do, whether it's data-driven decision-making with our data warehousing system that every teacher has access to the gradebook system, to other online options where they can create websites and other things to engage their class. And then they're paired up with their mentor teacher and other people. We also have a coaching initiative, which is instructional coaching, where there's a coach that can do co-teaching with the teachers if it's an initial thing. But then he's also there to help them structure lessons and assessments to make them more relevant and open-ended in some ways. And we also partner with Duquesne University in Pittsburgh. They have an instructional technology program where we have students come in as internships, and they work like coaches to a certain extent to help teachers implement technology in the classroom, and it's a support resource there for them so that they're not on their own trying to do this first-time technological lesson. And then once they get comfortable with it, they can run with it on their own and other things. So it's a very dynamic environment.